Greetings YouTube, Sega Zombie here. Welcome back guys to another video, and this video is a bit of an update on the retro realm. I've had some significant changes here, had some awesome stuff been brought in to the store, which I just wanted to share with you guys. One in particular, bundle I don't think we're ever going to see in this store again, not as complete as this. So I'm just going to take you for a little guided tour around the shop, around the realm, and then we'll get cracking onto this awesome walk-in. It's stunning. So as you can see, as we walk through the door guys, the biggest change I've added is this kind of sort of center display. Now we've added loads new shelving. It's just to get everything more compact, more visually appealing as well, because I used to have all of these Funko Pops scattered around the store, and it's still the case. There's still lots of Funko Pops laying around. I know Funko Pops are not for everyone, but they do sell exceptionally well in the shop. Most of them are pocket money toys, and there's lots of kids that love collecting these, and I'm all for kids collecting physical stuff. So, you know, as long as people still want them, I will stock them. But we've got some awesome stuff up here. Some original Batman Spawn figures there. And then down the bottom, we've got loads of Doctor Who. That is all the old Doctor Who annuals from sort of, I think, the 70s, early 70s onwards. I did have all the 60s ones, but they sold exceptionally quick. And then when we come along here, we've got our bargain bin of just random figures, all at bargain prices, just to get rid of them. And then the video display, that's not really changed very much. The same old sort of setup there. So when we come through to this part of the store, this is still something I want to change up a bit really. I'm still not happy with this. It's just a mountain of nostalgia and retro toys here. Collectibles all mingled together. You've got really desirable stuff like the Army of Darkness figures there. We've got a Ghostbusters vinyl, which is modern. And we've got loads of collectibles here, mixed in with some really vintage stuff, like we've got Xena the doll, Space Voyagers, the ultimate Saturn V rocket set from the early 90s. We've got a Binatone down the bottom there, and we've got loads of rotating stands of figures. This one was just Marvel, but it's, as the Marvel has sold, I've replaced it with other things, but it's pretty much superhero themed along this one. Then here we've got more collectibles and action figures and the like. G.I. Joe, The Walking Dead, lots of Walking Dead. We've got some awesome Walking Dead figures in. Bit of Transformers. And then we go along the top here. So we've got the really desirable Garbage Pail Kids Deluxe plushies there. That is the full set. Up there we've got some original South Park toys and merchandise from the 90s. Castle Grayskull, exceptionally rare to see. Crypt Keeper, that's an animated Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt from the 90s, still sealed. Doctor Who, Aliens, we've got some Star Wars Lego, a right mixed bag along the top there. And then we come to the cabinets. These I rotate around, so the regulars, when they come in, they've always got something different to see. So up the top here, this is mostly a Lego sort of shelf incorporated there. Got some really old 70s 80s toys in that one. Shout out in comments guys if you see anything that brings back a memory. I'd love to hear your stories and your tales. Got Mask there, the A-Team Power R Pull. I used to have that back in the day, the little A-Team down there. More collectibles down there. An original cell from Samurai Pizza Cats. Lots more figures. This is the wrestling shelf. Then we've got another sort of like 80s, 90s mix here. We've got some A-Team figures. Who remembers these in Frosties? The little water games where you have to infuriatingly get the little hoops onto Tony the Tiger's tail. Then we've got some 3.75 Marvel figures there. These have slowed actually, these aren't as popular as they were. What's left of the Masters of the Universe, I need to restock that. We're getting really low. We've got some corgis down here. We've got the Doctor Who set. Walking along, this is sort of like a horror shelf. Then we've got the 70s toys. So we've got the $6 Million Man. Kitty O'Neill, who remembers that? We've got a 1971 Dalek there. We've got another little 80s and 90s shelf. Then we move down to the Transformers. More collectibles, guys. Star Wars. More sort of like ornamental sort of figurines there. And then we've got a proper horror shelf there with Leatherface and Chucky, Freddy, Jason in the back there. These are the bobbleheads. They've been really popular, very desirable. They're hard to get those complete and in good condition. And we've got a bit of an anime section here. Pokemon, Doctor Who, and a mixed bag of 90s toys down there. Moving on, we've got all our Blu-rays, DVDs, lots of box sets. Box sets have become really popular just lately. DVDs in general, which is really good to see, have picked up in sales, which is really good. I think people are getting tired of all these subscriptions and they want to have a bit of a collection again, which is always good in my book. Then we've got more figures here. This is all Star Wars related. A little bit of Doctor Who. Let's say this is sci-fi, the top half. Then down the bottom we've got some wrestling. And we move on to the games. So up here we've got consoles. Box consoles are getting harder and harder to find and source and put out for the right price for you guys. Bit of a lean spell on box consoles at the moment. But we've got plenty of games. Look at all of those. PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games, PSP down the bottom. And we've always got a large stock of Nintendo Wii, which again is exceptionally popular at the moment. The Wii is a really popular system to collect for. Loads more joysticks, accessories, collector figures and statues. Then in this cabinet we've got the sort of more desirable PS2 stuff, the more harder to get stuff. We've got some randomly placed boxed Japanese N64, and we've got quite a substantial amount of boxed N64 in at the moment, which is good to see. Lots of loose carts, loads of Super Nintendo loose carts, and they're all stacked up there. That's the overflow. And we go down, we've got NES. We've had some really lovely box NES games in, but we had a collector come in over the weekend, buy a lot of those up because they were in really good condition. There's our Super Nintendo box games. This is just accessories down here. It's always a mess. We're always rummaging in there, pulling out a pad, and I can never make that shelf look nice. Up here, now this cabinet is all video game related, so whether that be collectibles, merchandise, action figures, you name it, it's in this cabinet. So we've got the original Turok action figures there. As you can see, there's a Doom Slayer figure right in the back there. We've got some sealed Switch games. Then this dude, look at the Big Daddy there. He is stunning. He is a NECA Big Daddy from Bioshock. What a figure that is. I don't think he will last very long. When I had them before, they sold out instantly. He went out late on Saturday. Some Resident Evil figures there, carded one in the background. Then we get onto some of the merchandise. These are pin badges, exclusive badges, little collectibles that were from expos. This is something you don't see every day. Being a SEGA guy, I have never ever seen this original Sonic the Hedgehog figure from 1991-92 carded. That is exceptionally rare, guys. I have one loose, never seen one mint on card like that. which is pretty awesome. I've got Kratos there from God of War, Five Nights at Freddy's. Then we move along here, and this is all sort of Pixel Pals, desk sort of like displays really here, what you'd put on your office desk or your computer setup. And then in this cabinet we've got Game Boy Advance. Then moving down, again some desirables. We've got some pretty expensive GameCube games there. We've got some lovely mint PlayStation 1 games. Some Mega Drive. We've got loads of Japanese Saturn hidden at the back there. We've also got a lot of the desirable 3DS, DS games, mostly Pokemon stuff, if I'm being honest. A beautiful Castlevania Portrait of Ruin now. All of these in the background are sealed games, so they're all stored there. Then we move on to some PS Vita. Moving down, guys, we've got some Genesis. There's my only Atari Jaguar game in store and my only Neo Geo Pocket game in store. Very hard to get hold of that stuff. We've got some very desirable Mega Drive there, and then this is all the Saturn, which this has only just been stocked, the Saturn, so we've got some really killer titles there. Then moving down, we've got all our loose Mega Drive. Then we've got all of the Dreamcast. Again, we've added some awesome titles to the Dreamcast just lately. Then moving along, how awesome is that Lethal Enforcers box set for the Genesis? That really is nice. We've got a box Sega Saturn in, which that will not last long. They always sell really quick. We've got some PS5, GameCube, Wii U, lots of Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games there. There's our 3DS games. Then we move on to all the DS titles. That goes actually behind there as well. There we've got one of these twin stick arcade sticks that you just plug and play. Lots of Mega Drive, guys. Really got some tasty Mega Drive titles in, which is always awesome. I love to have lots of Sega on display in the retro realm. Sega Master System, loads more collectibles and awesome stuff. A GX4000 box, you don't see one of those every day. And then we've also got a couple of games. We've got Operation Thunderbolt there and Barbarian 2. One of the most disappointing games of all time, that. I absolutely adored the original Barbarian, but this sequel was awful. But yeah, a Halo edition, limited edition, original Xbox in its box with all its polys, all of its paperwork and both controllers, which is a rare thing to find nowadays, guys. More up there. Growing our Switch. Now the Nintendo Switch is very popular. I'm trying to niche down and have sort of like the more sort of niche titles, indie games mixed in there to give people sort of a different library of games to look at. Just going along here, you'll see what I mean. Sort of very different titles that you wouldn't necessarily see out and about everywhere. A lot of this stuff you would have to import through the likes of PlayAsia and places like that. But yeah, it's good to get hold of this sort of stuff. So yeah, then we move on to PS4, Xbox 360. Xbox One has now been dropped to the floor. We really don't sell much Xbox One these days, which is a pity. But yeah, I need the shelf space really for stuff that does sell. There's the PlayStation 1 wall. Still impressive, still a lot of titles in there, guys, to choose from. Then moving along here, we've got all our board games. This is the other end of the new island that I've installed. So up here we've got the awesome Sonic Mountain Quest, Daleks, you name it, that's up here. Then we've got all our graphic novels. Lots of anime books. These are exceptionally popular. Loads and loads of anime books. More annuals. This is more your sort of mixed bag of TV shows of the 80s, cartoons, that sort of thing. And we've got a selection of film and horror books, and more sort of like film, horror related stuff there. Then moving around here, these have been exceptionally popular, really popular. The quarter arcades, this is the last one I've got in stock at the moment. Hopefully I can order some more in, but there's elevator action, more figures, more Daleks. And then we've got this open display where people can have a little rummage at the mini tubs we've got. Loads of different pocket money toys there. Some nice Doctor Who figures. Mixed bag. Then along the bottom here, people can easily pull out our comic selection and look in all the different boxes. And we've also got our gaming guides there. A basket of plushies. And we've got a display for all our board games there. This is very popular, especially in the winter months, Christmas time. We do sell lots of board games. And then that moves us on to the counter, where I'm going to show you guys an epic trade-in. So this is an amazing walk-in for the retro realm, guys. Not only do we have a beautiful Vectrex, the MB Vectrex. That noise you can hear is the Vectrex buzz. There is a kit you can buy, a buzz off kit, which will do away with that buzz, but I kind of like the charm of it. I'm doing this one-handed, guys. I just want to show you that running. But the big amazing thing about this walk-in is it comes with every single Vectrex game. PAL. I have been told that there's a couple of American games missing, but this is the full PAL set, guys, on the Vectrex. So we've got some beautiful games here. So we've got Vectrex Berserk. These are all complete with their overlays. For those of you unfamiliar with the Vectrex, this is just a black and white monitor that displays vector graphics. The most famous game being really is Star Wars, which is not available to play on the Vectrex as is, but there is lots of modern devices you can do to play a lot of the really well-known classic vector games of the arcades. So yeah, there is the Vectrex. That's the overlay, which then gives it a distinct colour. So there's like a blue, you get some really vibrant colours. So we've got Berserk there for the Vectrex. Soccer football. Blitz, which is American football. And like I said, these are all complete, all with their overlays, all with their instruction manuals. Space Wars. Some of these I'm unfamiliar with, guys. Some of these I do not have in my collection. We've got Starship there. Starhawk, which kind of looks like the trench run in Star Wars. Let me know in comments, guys, if you know anything about these games. Bedlam. This one I do own, Fortress of Narzod, and it's actually a really good game. It's like an isometric adventure game. It's really cool. Yeah, really cool game, that. And then we've got Solar Quest. So that's the first stack done. One of my favourite original games, Scramble. Plays brilliantly on the Vectrex. This is the sleeve for the Mindstorm overlay. This is the game built into the Vectrex. And we've got Rip-Off. Web Warp. Really want to give this a try. I want to play a bit of Web Warp. It looks a bit Tempest-esque. The really famous Spike, the kind of mascot for the Vectrex. Flipper. Pinball. I was going to say football there, but pinball. Cosmic Chasm. One of the only races released here in the UK, and that is Hyperchase. I do believe Pole Position was released in America. And we've got Clean Sweep, and that is really in clean condition. That's a lovely condition, that. And we've got Armour Attack. So these are the original run for the Vectrex back in 1982, 83, and they're all complete and in, for the age, good condition. There's some that are better than others, but I would say most of them are good condition, definitely. So that's those. And then I just wanted to end it on these, really, and we've got some of the homebrew indie games that were released decades later, because there's a massive scene for the Vectrex. And here's some of the games. We've got Big Blue, which is a fantastic game. Remember buying this back in the day when it came out at Revival, from Chris. He makes some fantastic games. But yeah, a lovely guy is Chris Parsons, a really nice guy. But yeah, he released Big Blue for the Vectrex. Great game. Like Scuba Diver on the ZX Spectrum. It's the best way to describe that. There's also a boxed multi-cart there, which will have house all the games on it. So yeah, Big Blue. Then another game from Chris is Frontier, which is the Vectrex version of Sheriff, the classic, extremely rare arcade machine that Al's Arcade has owned for a number of years. Great game. And then a very rare and desirable game, I'm being told. I'm going to butcher the name. Staramash Zone, which is basically a battle zone for the Vectrex. This was released quite a few years ago. I bought this on release, actually, all those years ago. When was this? 2017. And apparently this is the first run of this game. And there was a second run, but of any in a small number. So this is a highly desirable, extremely rare game to get on the Vectrex. So there we go, guys. There is just a quick look at the Vectrex. Let me know in comments, guys, what do you think? And I'm pretty stoked that we've got such an amazing collection here available in the retro realm. I'm going to end this video on a bit of gameplay. So I've chosen the Staramash Zone. S-T-R-A-M-A-S-H. Staramash Zone. Cannot pronounce that, guys. But it's Battle Zone, basically, for the Vectrex. Comes with a lovely manual there. There's the overlay in here. And then the cartridge comes in this lovely foam insert. So we're going to place the overlay into the Vectrex. And whereas the Mindstorm one was pretty basic, as you'll see, these modern games have some really awesome overlays. Look at the detail on that. So here we go, guys. Here is some Staramash Zone on the Vectrex. So we've got the radar up here so we can see where the enemy is. He's flashing now. There he is. Let's fire a missile at him. Yes, and we've taken him out. Oh, but I think it took me out as well, have they? Yeah, I've lost a life there. How come? Oh, there's another tank right behind us, that's why. Yep, we've got that tank. Oh, it's like a UFO thing. Got him. So there's another. You've got to use your radar in this game. He's firing at us. Can we avoid that? Oh, we got him. He drove straight into that. Here's another UFO. Where is it? Oh no, it's a tank. There's the UFO. We're surrounded, guys. Love the sound effects on the Vectrex. But yeah, I like how the overlay uses. You can see there's your lives, there's your score, the radar there. Not sure how well this is going to translate on video because of the hertz of the TV monitor. But yeah, there is a quick look at Strash Zone on the MB Vectrex. Till next time, guys, I'm SEGA Zombie. Goodbye.